today we are going to try and install Windows NT. Windows NT is a operating system to be used with a computer. It's a workstation, so it can be used with servers. We are installing the workstation piece. So the first thing a operating system does when it comes in, it has to, just like when you move into a house, you go look at the house, you buy it, and you go to move in, and then you look at your furniture and you try and figure out which furniture piece goes in which room. Right now, the big burly guys are out there looking around the rooms, trying to see what furniture fits in what room. And they're starting to pack stuff in from the moving van. And just like when you move it, it does take a bit. So we're just going to wait a second and allow it to do its work. Okay, after that short pause, we are welcome to setup. The difference between NT and some of the others is it's not as it does not rely as much on the mouse. We're still using the keyboard. So there's 4 choices here. To learn more about Windows NT setup, you can press F1, you can press enter to start it. If your Windows NT is damaged, you could press R, or you just quit setup, you'd press F3. We're going to hit enter because we want to keep going. There we go. Setup has recognized the following storage device in your computer. It's going to do this a lot. It's going to say, I found this, and then you just make sure your item is there, and then click enter. Now it's talking about the hard disks. We're just going to read it and click enter. Setup is to determine that your computer startup hard disk is new. But, warning, if there's something on it, this is going to erase it. So you're going to press C this time to continue. Here's the EULA, and you can see that this was not done on a screen where there was a scroll. So to get to the bottom of the page, to accept the EULA, you have to hit page down. So page down, page down, page down, page down, page down, page down, page down. We thought our EULAs were long. Page down, and here we are. F8 to agree, escape I don't agree, or page up to go to the previous page. We are going to agree, so we are going to hit F8. Here's another one of those warnings. Here's the hardware that we know that you have. If you want to make changes, you could come up here and make changes, or if the list matches, you're just going to hit enter. This is an important area. You can't just hit enter here, because Windows NT needs 1,000 megabytes to be created to handle certain system requirements. So you come in here and you see to create a partition, and this is the page it comes to, and then you just backspace over the old letters and type in 1,000. Then you hit enter. Now you see we've got the 2 partitions, which is what it needs, and you click enter. Now file systems is not quite what some people think they are. There are 2 ways that the computer sort of formats the hard drives and stuff. One is with the FAT file system, and one is with the NTFS file system. FAT is older, does not hold as much data. NTFS is the newer one, and it's what's becoming standard, so we want NTFS. Windows NT works better with the NTFS. Okay, so now it's going to be doing its formatting setup. It's formatting the smaller partition right now, the 996 partition. Setup installs Windows NT files onto your hard disk. Choose the location. Unless you know what's what, just hit enter. Now it's going to look for corruption. Hit enter. Okay, now it's copying files to the hard disk. This is that they're really getting serious. All the furniture's coming in the house. And it's not just coming in the house, it's getting put up where, where it's supposed to. The dressers are going to go in the kids' room, and they're going to go on the wall where they're supposed to be. The beds are being brought in, and they're being set up. The couch and the TV is being brought in, and as best as they could be being set up. Now this takes a little bit longer, but you can see actually compared to some operating systems it's fairly fast. We're at 23% already. Granted, Windows NT is a pretty basic system, but it's still pretty good. Okay, now it initializes Windows NT configuration. Okay, again, Windows NT does not do things quite the way some of the others do. Most of them restart yourself. They restart themselves. You have to click enter to restart. Okay, this screen is simply the computer communicating with you about what type of spaces it's going to need. That it's telling us right now that it's converting the file system. It's doing bits and pieces, and you just have to be patient. And there's the wonderful teal screen that you will see a lot of. Here's Windows NT Setup. Setup does a large number of things for you. This is a nice little item. You'll notice as I move my cursor or my pointer around that it doesn't quite work as normal, so we still want to continue with the keyboard if we can. Click next for click enter for next. Prepares the install. Preparing the directory. There's your 4 choices: typical, portable for a laptop, compact if you're worried about space, and we're not, because there's certain components that don't get installed when it's compacted, and custom. This is if you know about computers, if you know what needs to be in an operating system to make it work. We're going to click enter. The name, your full name and your organization, we're only going to put that. The CD key. The CD key, if you're familiar with more recent systems, this is the product key. If you do not have a product key, it is usually pretty bad, because it usually means that it's A, either you've lost it, or B, that it is a pirated copy. And that pirated copies, if you don't have this key, some of the OSs won't even let you go past this point, and it aborts. Or it works for a few weeks, and then most of the components quit working until you go buy the CD key or the registration key, the product key, whatever you want to call it. And it ends up costing you more money. Now you can see that the mouse is working a little bit better, so we're going to click next. The name of the computer. This is something to identify the computer, this specific computer. And it must be unique. So we'll just call it Kira. Okay, password. This is the administrative password for this computer. So you want to make it as strong of a password as you can. Oh, typo. Okay, so you enter the password, you confirm it, you click next. At this point, if you had a CD drive that was rewritable, you would say yes, that you want to create an emergency repair disk. I do not have one, so we are going to say no and click next. An emergency repair disk is in case something happens to the operating system. You can click it and it'll you can go in and you can hit that R and it'll repair it. You're going to install the most common components. Okay, so now it's wanting to do the networking. This computer is not going to be networked. If you see, if we left this, it tells you what type of an adapter it's wired to the network with. Well, actually, let's just leave it wired to the network. Let's see what it does. And we'll click next. Now it's looking for the network adapter, and there is no list here, meaning that what it said before is wrong. So we are not going to connect. And we will click next and finish. And now it does a little bit more of throwing stuff out on the walls, making the house pretty. Alright, now it asks you about your time zone. Okay, we are on Mountain Time, and since it's done the whole Mountain Time thing, it should have the date and time correct, which it is. And we'll close. Here's the display, and we will talk about display in another video. Configuring your Windows to run setup. We're going to have one more set of packet of copying files, then it's going to restart the computer. Okay, this is important. Windows NT removes temporary files, makes your computer a little fast, so we restart the computer. Hit enter. And it's working, the more little blue screen. And as soon as this blue screen goes away, we'll be set. Okay, there's our wonderful teal screen. And there is our Windows NT workstation.